Hi, I'm Jordan Long, and today I'm going to talk about Canland or Canada. Well, first off, the word can is an English word, but is a French borrowed word. So the English word would be Canland. Now, Canland is another one of those lands that became free from England, but didn't become free from England until at least years later. So even though Canland might have their Freedom Day on July the 1st before we have our Freedom Day, our land, the Onded Irks or the United States or the Onded Irks, we had our we had our freedom in 1776 YL. So our Freedom Day is older than theirs. Our land is 244 years old, and theirs a little more younger than that. But there are some things that both Canland and the Onded Oaks both have that are the same. Both have English as their main speech. Some folks are going to say, yeah, there's French, but that's mostly in the Quebec Irks. And that's mostly in the Quebec Irk. But the rest of whole Canada, it's English. Just like the Onded Irks. Both lands became free from England. Both lands are the chunk of the New World. And both lands have gotten along very well. And both lands have fought against fierce strikers many times. And both lands have also worked together when it came to, the illness, the sickness. Everyone gets on me for not calling it by its name, but why should I call it by its name when the name's a borrowed name? So the boundaries between the Onded Irks and Canland have both been shut down unless, one, you are a needed worker, meaning you're a healer or caregiver, or you are a water worker or a lightsmith or some kind of business that's needed to be done in the land, and they'll let you in. If you have to go to Alaska, they'll also let you in. But if you're gonna go into Canland and not be one of those two grounds for it, then that's not good. Now, I have never gone to the Onded Irks Canland boundary, so I can't tell you. But I have a belief that there's probably a big post somewhere saying, Canland, welcome to Canland. You are leaving the Onded Irks. And then you got to go through both the boundary keepers, not just in the Onded Irks, but also the boundary keepers of Canland, since you're leaving one land for another. And then you got to show your overstep sheet, which in normal times would be alright. But now, since of the sickness and illness, anyone coming in from Canland to the Onded Irks or leaving the Onded Irks for Canland are going to be asked one or two askings every time. Are you a healer or caregiver of some kind? A water worker or a lightsmith? No. Do you have kin or friends who are in the Canland? Are you going to the Alaska? Yes, if I'm going to Alaska. Well, I gotta look at your overstep word. Alright, you can go in now. Because those are the only two oversights that Canland or the Onded Irks will let anyone come in between both lands. If you are not a healer or a caregiver, if you're not a water worker, if you're not a lightsmith of some kind, if you're not some kind of needed business that, if you're not a a land worker and you got food to sell, if you're not a business that's selling food or drinks or other things that are needed, then you're not going to be in there. And a lot of folks wonder if it's a one-sided thing. Some folks wonder, did the land leader of the Onded Irks and the land leader of Canland both stand on it? Yeah, both lands shut their boundaries between each other. and there are only some oversights that will let you go between both lands. Now, I know there's going to be some folks saying, Jordan, how often are you ever going to be going from the Ondit Erks to Canland? Or from Canland to the Ondit Erks? Not unless I got a show playing job it's there. But at the end of the day, I never had any show playing jobs that had me go outside of my land. And I'm sure that they also ask you another asking that anyone, I'm sure they ask you another asking. Have you or anyone else ever been sicked for having coronavirus or the corona sickness or illness or COVID-19? I was sicked for it, but I do not have it. That's good. Now I need to look over your overstep sheet. Alright, I'll have to go get that. And I know some folks out there are going to think to themselves, why would I know in their mind, some folks are going to think to themselves, Jordan, you must be bullshitting. You must be bullshitting, Jordan, because you're never going to go to you're never going to go to Canland or Canada. So why are you doing this film on it? Well, because it's the truth. There are folks who sadly go to Canland who are not being sad about that. There are folks who are going to Canland who are not being truthful about their grounds or sacred why for going to Canland. You know? And there are those who are going from Canland to the Ondit Erks who are also being untruthful about their grounds, sacred why. You know? Yes. So, I just want to make that film. I'm Jordan Long, and I'll see you later.